this course on digital marketing. This is the beginning. As you can see, here is what we're trying to get you to at the end. This lady is very excited about the power of digital marketing, everything she's learned on this course, and she can't wait to go and implement it. So once we finish this course, this is exactly how we want you to feel as well. Let's get going. So in this Intro to Digital Marketing course, we're going to give you an overview, a flavour of the different areas of digital marketing and what they entail. We're going to look at how you can reach your target audiences using those digital tools and how much resource each takes. Because most importantly, we're aware that many charities out there don't have the skills or the resource or the budget to do everything all the time, all at once. So basically, we're trying to teach you here how to prioritize which digital channels you use, how you can make the most of those that you do prioritize so that you are effective and not spreading yourself too thin. So we've got quite a lot of questions that we can answer as part of this course. As we go along, we're going to be trying answering these for you so you get a good idea about what you can achieve. So which digital marketing activity is right for our cause or service? Again, just emphasizing that we don't need to cover everything. Prioritize on the areas that are going to work best for you and your organization. Understand how digital marketing can help further your cause and support your beneficiaries, because at the end of the day, you're a charity or a non-profit. You have an audience out there or people that need your support. How are you reaching them? How are you engaging with them effectively using digital channels? Who are our audiences online? So digital marketing has plenty of ways to understand who your audience is, what kind of things they're into, what kind of content engages them, and where they hang out online. And then that gives you a good idea of how you can tap into those communities as well. How can you use digital marketing channels to reach those audiences? Whether it's through Google search, Facebook ads, Instagram, Twitter, there are lots of different ways to reach those audiences, but what is the best way for you and your organization? Then, do you have the resources to reach those goals? You might have big ambitions for your charity. I really hope you do. But actually, matching those ambitions with the budget and time and resource you have available is going to be a big challenge. So we want to answer that question here and make sure that you prioritize on the areas that you have the most effect. And then how can you measure and understand what works well for you? There's no point doing digital marketing activity if you can't measure. And the beauty of digital marketing is that everything is measurable, just about. So we're going to take a look at how you can measure the effectiveness of your digital marketing activity and how you can then improve, optimize, and ultimately get better at what you do. That's what we're going to try and cover. Those questions we're going to try and answer. If you do have any other questions, do write them down. We are improving this course all the time. We're running other courses as well, so we'll take those questions into account. So just jot them down and send them through to us. We'll make sure that we answer those questions in the next versions of this course. So now it's time to meet your trainer. This is me, Ben. Hello. You might look like me. I actually had a nicer haircut there down there. I had a bit of a neater beard, maybe, a bit shorter hair, but I actually recording this in lockdown, so maybe that's why my hair's a bit longer. But I'm the director of a digital marketing agency called Empower. We have a complete focus on charities, non-profits, and social good organizations, and I've run campaigns across the likes of Google, Facebook, Twitter, email, websites, video, everything we're going to cover in here actually. So I've got a bit of an idea about how to do most things using digital marketing. A bit of background, I was actually part of one of the first social media agencies in the UK, and then I've worked freelance with quite a few other social media teams as well. Since founding Empower, we've worked with quite a few charities that you might have heard of, big and small, the likes of UNICEF and the UN Refugee Agency on the big end. On the smaller end, some UK charities like the Wildlife Trust, RSPCA, Charity Comms. So you're in good hands here. And I should have mentioned that we're also, Empower, our agency, is on the partner track for both Google and Facebook. And that means that we get trained by these guys. We get access to their latest tools and resources, and then can in turn give you, the charities that we work with, insight into what works best, what doesn't work, and basically be more effective digital marketers ourselves. So you're in good hands, as we say. Just to take a moment to talk about our training approach, this is what we do both in our offline training and our online training. So we really want to provide lots of practical examples. There's no point going through lots of theory if you can't actually see how it works in practice. So our training materials often include lots of practical examples that you can take inspiration from and take into your everyday work. We want our training to be easy to understand. It can be quite confusing with digital marketing when there's lots of jargon being thrown around. The key concepts might not be explained properly. So we really want to take a moment to make it as plain English as possible so that you can understand the concepts and actually take them through in your work rather than just being stuck on what a particular thing means. We also want the training session to be understandable after the session has taken place. So we want you to be able to come back and readily understand what's been said, what's been explained, again, so that when you're trying to put it into your work, you actually can do it. You actually remember what we were talking about, and it's quite clear about how you, in turn, can do those recommendations in your own time. Also should say that all the insight here is based on real campaigns that Empower have worked on. So we're taking insights, inspiration, and putting them here. So these are tools and strategies and tactics that are working well for other organisations. That means that you can be confident that they're going to work well for you as well. And as I mentioned before, we're going to point to lots of tools, resources, and further reading. So if you want to take the next step and investigate these recommendations a bit more, then you have plenty of ideas of where to go next and recommendations for other things that you can take ideas and inspiration from. So that's our training approach for today. Now, to get started, let's define what digital marketing is. So we looked up online what digital marketing was, and I'm just going to read this out to you. So digital marketing is the component of marketing that utilizes internet and online-based digital technologies such as desktop computers, mobile phones, and other digital media and platforms to promote products and services. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this definition. I would argue it's probably written back in the 90s. So let's look at a more up-to-date definition. It's any activity that uses online channels to reach and engage your audiences. Online being key there. This is an always-on culture that we're in now. Not only are you on your desktop, but you're on your mobile phone. And basically, there's an always online culture that we have. And some people argue actually that you could just take away the digital aspect of marketing. You don't even need to mention digital anymore. You could just say, this is all marketing. And we're saying reach and engage your audiences here. We're not saying just like blast content out there, not get any engagement back. You want to make sure that when you are sending out your marketing activity, that you are actually engaging with the audiences. So I think that shorter, sharper explanation is a much better idea or way of understanding what digital marketing is. And then why digital marketing? So what attracts people to be digital marketers in the first place or work with digital marketing? And I really like thinking about it from digital marketing using the two sides of our brains in unison and bringing them together to create effective digital marketing activity. So on the left-hand side, of your brain is the kind of more database analytical side, and skills that apply in digital marketing that use your left-hand side of the brain are things like data analysis, so looking at the metrics, looking at what the numbers to see what's working. Performance optimization, so looking at those numbers and then trying to work out why something is working so well. What can you do to take advantage of that? And then also iterative testing, so you're going to test a few things, you're going to look at the numbers. Once you see what works well, you're going to iterate that and do more of that activity and see if you can improve upon those figures. So lots about numbers, data on the left-hand side of the brain. On the right-hand side of the brain, we have the more creative side. So that's things around creative content. What are the videos, the images, the copy that you're writing that are going to engage people? It's also about delivering value. Can you identify what your audiences really value in the digital activity that you do or the services that your charity provides? How can you bring that out using those creative methods? And then being user focused, I think it's a lot about understanding who your audience is, what makes them tick, what's going to make them actually engage with you online. So bringing those two sides together, the right hand side of the creative brain, the left hand side with the more data analytical brain. Digital marketing really brings those two together and gives you a great opportunity to make the most of them. So something for everyone, I should say there. Now, as we've defined digital marketing, we've looked at why digital marketing in particular. Let's look at what the types of digital marketing are. So we've identified 8 different areas here, and I should say that this is not completely comprehensive, but as this is an introduction to digital marketing, these 8 areas are generally a bit of a flavour about the kind of digital marketing areas that you could focus on. So you might well have some additional ideas that we would add here, but just for the purpose of this training session, this intro, we're going to focus on these 8.